2 Thessalonians 2:1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, and by the gathering together unto him, that ye be not shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by letter, as from us, as that the day of Hamashiach is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. The falling away of the Israelites has come and gone, and the man of sin has been revealed, and that man of sin is Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakah HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. The would-be judges, the 144,000. All right, the new heavenly government here on earth as it is in heaven. No more earthly government realm in any realms. All right, the whole world and all nations will be governed by the Israelites and by their power, their God, which is the only God, Yahweh. Not Hashem, not the name, not oh great the name, but Yahweh, which is his name. Okay? And to the rest of the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, among the heathen nations, that have the appearance of the heathen nations, is the reason why the Lord is sending back the angels, all right, to gather them up, to pick them out, all right, from the places they've been scattered, as the scripture said. This isn't a color thing. This isn't a black only thing. And to the few Akwath, all right, meaning the Akwath, meaning the sisters that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm, coming at you with another brutal lesson in truth. All right. And this man, Esau Edom, has been revealed back in 2 Thessalonians 2:4, and it reads, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worship, so that he sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, making paintings of himself, the Sistine Chapel, all the movies. He shows he wants to be everyone except himself. He's the Spartans, he's the Greeks, he's the Israelites, he's the Jews, all right? He's the Irish, he's the Scots, and that's all not true. What he is the Edomites, all right? He became the Greeks, who then turned into the Romans, who then took over Western Asia, divided it up, called one portion of it the Middle East, called the other portion Europe. All right, all that through Alexander. All right, the Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, has been exposed. All right, Alexander the Great was an Edomite. As a matter of fact, he was from the tribe of Amalek. All right. Verse 5, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things, and ye know what withholdeth that might be revealed in this time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work, only he who letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. Then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right. And the spirit of the Lord's mouth here on earth is his prophets. And his prophets have chanted down Babylon. His prophets has exposed Esau Edom through the power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, starting from the apostles, the elder bishops on down. Right? Esau Edom is exposed, man. And the end day prophecies are playing out. Esau can't cover himself anymore. He is made bare.
Yo, y'all, I got a huge one for you today. So Trump is absolutely spiraling. MAGA is falling apart over the Epstein files. I'm going to break that down for you. We also have, my show was complete. Like, I had finished all my preparation to come out here and give you guys the news. And then, boom, Israel starts another war. So just insane. At the same time, MAGA is falling apart. The entire world is falling apart. So we'll get into that as well. Then later on, MAGA media is desperately trying to cover up Trump's Epstein betrayal. We have some of the craziest stories I've ever heard, like the Trump regime ordering the destruction of food that was allocated to go out to 1.5 million
Let me pause it right there. This is Isaiah 2 and 4. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 1, because this is how you know that these Israelis are just that, Israelis. The definition for Israeli is a modern day citizen of Israel, not to be confused with an ancient Israelite. They are not the same people. All right, so when Israel goes home, when all 12 tribes go home, not just one tribe or not just the Jews, all right, all 12 tribes will go home and there will be peace on earth. All right, they will then begin to rule the whole earth and bring forth the rules of heaven on earth as it is in heaven, just like the Lord's Prayer says. All right, that will be dictated by the Israelites through the power of Yahweh Shai, all right, who the world ignorantly and fraudulently calls Jesus Christ. Isaiah 2 and 1. The word of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, said concerning Judah and Jerusalem, that's all 12 tribes, all right. It says, and it shall come to pass in the last days, the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. When the Israelites go home, they will be on top of all governments. The American government will not be supporting the Israelis. The Israelis will be, the Israelis are not the Israelites. The Israelites will be the ruling class people here on earth. All governments will flow unto them. All people. There will be no more governments. It's going to be one world government, just like Esau's trying to do, except it's going to be the government that is set up from heaven on earth as it is in heaven. Go read the Lord's Prayer. And how that's going to be established, I'm reading it to you. And many shall go and say, come ye and let us go up to the mountain of Yahweh, the government. All right, this is the new government right here. All right, to the house of God of Jacob, and he will teach us his ways, and we will walk in his path. For out of Zion shall come forth the law and the word of Yahweh from Jerusalem. So no more biting the foreskin off, putting babies' penises in your mouth. No more child sacrifices. No more burning red heifers alive or whatever the hell they do. No more wearing hats covering the crown of your head. No more stupid haircuts and leaving the sideburns to grow long to where they're hanging off your face. No more zeets. No more all black, trying to fit the description of Judah is black unto the ground. You know, the true Israelites will be ruling, following the laws and statutes and commandments of the Bible. Okay, the 144,000 will be the judges and the enforcers of that heavenly law here on earth among all nations. That's where all nations will come to learn the ways so that the wrath of God doesn't fall on them. Right? The difference being is that the Israelites will be made perfect. The laws will be established in our inward parts. Therefore, we will never go off or break the law again, which is why the kingdom of heaven, once it's established, is an everlasting kingdom forever and ever and ever. All right. The other nations will not have that luxury. They won't have the immortal bodies. They won't have the strength, the immune system. You know, they won't be like us. They're not like us already. Okay, and they won't have the laws in their inward parts, which means they will make mistakes, which means the judges will have to go and judge them. Do you understand? All right. When you read Revelation, the 7th chapter, when it talks about the 12,000 men from each of the 12 tribes, yeah, that's going to be their job, is to rule over the earth and govern the whole universe, basically. All right. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people and shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war any more. O house of Jacob, come ye, and let us walk up to the light of Yahweh. This is what the world is looking for, to live peacefully. And that's not happening with these warlike Khazars, these Amalekites that are controlling everything, and then get mad when you point it out, you know, like that one viral video. See if I can find it. That they got mad about, was trying to silence the guy. When the guy was reading off who rules the world, and you know, he was reading off all the names of the people who were controlling the CDC and the policy, you know, et cetera, during the C-19 event, and every person, you know, was of the J-ish descent, and he kept making a point to let you know that. And they were trying to shut him up and silence him, and saying that it was being offensive. And he was, and there were some people who spoke up in his defense, like how he's just identifying. He's not saying anything negative, or, you know, but that's how these people are. You know, they're when anytime you I'm trying to find it, but can't find it right now. I know I have it. But, you know, anytime you bring out any truth about them, they go and scream, you know, anti-semantics. And they try to hide behind their semantics.
Starving kids, they just hand waved it away and said, no, you can destroy it. It's fine. We also have Obama issuing a dire warning for Democrats. We'll dive into that. And a new immigration rule from Trump is basically going to doom millions to be locked up in perpetuity, probably for years. So more horrific stuff to talk about. We have all that and more. You guys know the drill. Everybody please subscribe to the channel. That helps out big time and costs you absolutely nothing at all. And of course, much love to all you who support this show on Patreon. We couldn't do it without you. This is real independent media, not fake independent media. I've never talked to an advertiser a single time my entire time doing this show. I'm very proud of that fact. You guys made it possible. You can also support Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. That link is below as well. And go subscribe to the Corns World YouTube channel, where we're dropping Kyle and Corns over there. By the way, we just started live streaming them. So if you want to see some Kyle and Corn live streams and send in some super chats and have some fun, go ahead and subscribe over there. All right, guys, let's get into it. So my preparation for the show was done. And then I open up social media and I go, Jesus fucking Christ, bro. What is happening now? And it turns out...
So, you know, this is how you know these people really don't believe and fear the Lord, all right? Because even though that's not the name of the Lord, you would never hear me say, Yahushai effing Hamashiach, you know. He would... These people, man. So, you know, they're full of shit.
Israel launched another massive war against Syria. So let me show you here. This person says, breaking, this is not Gaza. This is not Beirut. This is Damascus. Israel is raining bombs on Syria's capital, targeting civilian neighborhoods and government sites in one of the oldest cities on earth, a city that has stood for over 11,000 years. So not only do they attack,
So these Edomites, man, these Israelis, you know, if you still think at this time and age that these are the people of the Lord, man, all right, they don't match the prophecies in any way whatsoever as pertaining to what will be happening when Israel goes home. They're the exact opposite, and what they're doing is they're bringing us that much closer to World War III and the policy and all the madness that's going on within the land of Israel, which is going on within the government and the division within those people, and the things that's going on in the government in America and Babylon, and the division that's among those people, and the falling apart of Europe and the division that's going on within those people, man. The Lord is really making Esau come together in war against himself. All right, and there's definitely, it's prophesied, is going to be a very violent clash, a civil war here in America, as we're looking at, famines, and there's all sort of crazy diseases and all sorts of weather events that are taking place, that are taking lives and ruining economies. This is because what's happening is that the curses are falling upon Esau, Edom. All right. The things that they did to Jacob is now starting to happen to them. And all that shame. This is Deuteronomy 30:7. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and upon them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And that's exactly what we're seeing, what we're witnessing. All the crying videos, I can't afford to live, and suicide is high. Even the numbers are starting to increase with Edomite abortions. But this is Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and they that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. As a matter of fact, someone blessed me with a coffee mug. It says, Thawadi Yahweh, I'm not Esau, Edom. But the back flip side of that mug is the scripture I just read, Jeremiah 30:16. All right? Because they're about to be devoured in the same manner that we are. So just hold fast, Israel. So let's listen to some more of this news, which is leading us up to the final destruction of Esau, Edom, and to the third woe. And the deliverance of Israel comes during the third woe, and the third woe is at hand.
Of Israel's genocide and their ethnic cleansing, no more talking, no more issuing condemnations of Israel's genocide and their ethnic cleansing, no more resolutions. We're actually going to do something. We're actually going to block their ships. We're actually going to stop their ships from docking at ports. We're going to block supplies going to Israel. That's what actually is going to happen now. That's actually happening now.
So these can't be the people of the Lord. All that while this embarrassing shame right here is coming out. Trump wants to bury this so badly. All right. And remember, the majority of his campaign, more than half of his campaign, was ran on exposing this. And this was a part of the action that was going to help America be great again, the whole MAGA thing, by exposing the wickedness of the Democratic Party and all the wrongs that they have been doing, all right, in the name of God and government, all right, allowing this foreign entity, foreign place, Israel, rule over America, which they do. They absolutely do. And that's not anti any fucking thing. It's just the simple truth, man. It's crazy how these people control shit, and then when you point out the fact that they the bosses, they the boss, they the real Rick Rosses around here, all of a sudden it's offensive. This is complete bullshit. But let's let George Galloway, let's let him speak on this matter.
Epstein was an agent of the Israeli intelligence service. Epstein and his paramour, Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of Robert Maxwell, a decades-long serving officer of the Israeli intelligence service, Mossad. Epstein met Ghislaine Maxwell whilst he worked in the office of Robert Maxwell in London. Epstein went from being a maths teacher in a state school with no college degree to be a man richer than Croesus.
It's crazy.
Epstein rose from being a school teacher in a state school to owning multiple airplanes, yachts, the biggest house in Manhattan, villas, in Arizona, ranches in Arizona,
That's crazy.
villas in Florida, and an entire island in the Caribbean. Not bad going. But when you look at the people that he had around him, when you look at the people who gave him money, gave him hundreds of millions of dollars, all of them are deeply implicated in the sins and crimes of the settler state of Israel.
And I'm willing to bet that all that can be connected to members of AIPAC and all these other NGOs, all right, non-government organizations that have sway over your American politicians, over Hollywood, and they're all involved. They're all involved. And they do not want that to come out because remember, Esau Edom, including your president, all right, who was buddy with Epstein, and I'm sure that there's plenty of videotapes of them freaking off on underage girls and all manner of wickedness, bestiality, Hollywood gang bangs and orgies. Who the hell knows, all right? Because Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white people, white men, want to keep it to where they are the face of what's good and what's moral, when the God honest truth is they're the complete opposite. This is Luke 12:2. But there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known. And so they're being discovered. Their skirts are being lifted. The world and people are seeing them for who they really are.
Exclusive: Spain and Ireland to join more than 20 states.
Oh, wait a minute. Before I go any further. All right. This is other people's content, so I have to go and declare the Statute 107. All right, I'm on top of that. I do that in the beginning. But just want to make it clear that I'm not profiting from this. All right, this is being used for educational purposes. All right, so copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education and research. Fair use is permitted by the copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, so there you go. Copyright statute declared. I will put that in the title too. All right, but here we go.
To declare concrete measures against Israel. Turkey, Portugal, China, Qatar are among countries that will be attending the Hague's Group's Emergency Summit in Colombia next week.
Now, I talked about the Hague in yesterday's lesson, all right, which America and the EU actually helped set up the Hague to be a moral standard. And now with crimes against humanity, Israel has placed itself and America above the laws of the Hague, except when it comes to the law of the Hague, all right, which is Title 4D child support, which they oppress Americans with heavily. So the Hague, what they're saying is that the Hague doesn't have jurisdiction over Israelis or Americans when it comes to crimes against humanity, war crimes. But they do have jurisdiction when they say you owe this when they violate your civil rights and deny you due process by putting you on Title 4D child support. Just to give you an example of the hypocrisy, and it's a perfect example. Because in case you didn't know, American citizens, Title 4D child support is out of the Hague. It's not American. And the law of the land, which is the Constitution, declares, this you can look up for yourself, declares that it is illegal to place an American citizen under a foreign treaty. All right. So they use that wholeheartedly when it comes to the murdering of the genocide of people and women and children in foreign lands, when they're dropping bombs and sending soldiers in to shoot, kicking doors and shoot up everybody inside. But then they break the law of the land by allowing you to be put on Title 4D child support by the same foreign entity. You see the hypocrisy? Why? Because the money is funneled through them. They all get kickbacks and payments to do that. So, and remember, this is just added information that It says in the bylaws of Title 4D that it was set up, and I'm gonna have to go and break it out and let you see the receipts, because I do have it. But it says that Title 4D was never meant for the benefit of the child or the custodial parent, but it was meant for the benefit of the state treasury. So it's all to make money. So they oppress people, make them victims of this fraud so that they can make money. And the money that they're making goes to an offshore bank account, which is not taxed. Yeah. So you see what's really going on. So all the lawyers and the judges and everybody that's involved in it, this is why they do it. All right. They're setting themselves up with a really nice nest egg for when they retire and stop working. They make the real money. All that money, all those millions that's collected into those fraudulent Title 4D accounts that are offshore. All right. That's what this is all about. Esau Edom is one crooked, dirty MFer. Okay. And that bleeds over into other things, which is why the nations are turning against them.
Real. More than 20 countries are convening in Bogota next week to declare concrete measures against Israel's violations of international law. Diplomats told Middle East Eye. That's really happening. And if you'd like to hear my jokes about it, I'll be doing them this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Toronto, Red Bank, New Jersey, Northampton, Massachusetts, and Concord, New Hampshire. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. The emergency summit.
And he plugged himself, but you know what? Jimmy is kind of funny though, man. He will make you laugh. He's a pretty decent comedian. But what's even more important, that the Lord has taken his comedic platform and he uses it more to expose the establishment. He's basically becoming a mouthpiece for Isaiah 64 and 8, their tongue falling upon themselves. Because what he's revealing is the wickedness of his own people on a regular basis through comedy. All right. I believe they killed, what was his name? George Collins. I believe that was his name. For that very thing. He was revealing things. He was exposing the small hats a little too much for them, for their comfort.
Is due to be held on 15th and 16th of July. So that's starting tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. Co-hosted by the governments of Colombia and South Africa and co-chairs of the Hague Group.
See that damn
to
Hague.
Coordinate diplomatic and legal action to counter what they describe as a climate of impunity enabled by Israel and its powerful allies. So 20 countries have said we've had enough.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, he's using a Dorilla pillow. How can you tell? Have you heard about Dorilla Ergo? It's the cutting-edge ergonomic pillow that people...
Shut the fuck up.
And here it is, Progressive International. The Hague Group of 9 nations announced their commitment to bring Netanyahu to justice, stop arms to Israel, and no harbor for genocide. Let's listen.
We then declare our intention to uphold the UN resolution A/Res/ES10/24 in the case of state parties to the International Criminal Court to support and comply with our obligations under the Rome Statute with regards to the warrants issued on 21st of November 2024 and to implement the provisional measures of the International Court of Justice issued on 26th of January, also on the 28th of March, and also on the 24th of May 2024. We declare our intention to prevent provision or transfer of arms, munitions, and related equipment to Israel in all cases where there is a clear risk that such arms and related items might be used to commit or facilitate violations of humanitarian law, international human rights law, or the prohibition on genocide, in compliance with our international obligations and consistent with the International Court of Justice Advisory Opinion of 19 July 2024 and the UN General Assembly Resolution A/Res/ES10/24. We declare our intention to prevent the docking of vessels at any port, if applicable, within our territorial jurisdiction, in all cases where there is a clear risk of the vessel being used to carry military fuel and weaponry to Israel.
So they're talking about actually stopping the shipment of arms or aid to Israel.
So the fact that this is even a talking point, it shows you where we are. And and you're gonna find out that this is all leading you up to the final conflict before the Lord comes back. All right, this is definitely, the nations are going to gather in the valley of Jehoshaphat because of this, and the nations are hating the whore. All right, and and the Israelis are down with that whore, and the whore supports the Israelis. The whore being the head of the beast, which is America. She's the whore that rides upon the beast, and the beast system is turning on the whore. And that's what we're about to witness. This is Revelation 17:16. And the 10 horns that thou sawest upon the beast, they shall hate the whore, and the whore shall they shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. But before that happens, there's going to be infighting. All right. And that's Isaiah 19 and 2. Actually, I'll restart at 1. And the burden of Egypt, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud. It's funny. I was watching Nope, a little bit of Nope last night. Even though they tried to, change the message and control the narrative, like a ship that's actually alive and eating. The ship itself was an alien. It's a bunch of bullshit. But it says, although they are coming to devour, but not in the way that they try to portray it in that movie. It says, behold, Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst thereof, in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian, that they may fight one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and I will seek the idols and the charmers, and them that have familiar spirits and wizards, man. So the Lord is going to bring this place to naught, and set these Egyptians one against each other to destroy one another. All right. And that's where we are. Okay. They're going to be brought down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, and there the Lord is going to judge the nations. That's in Joel, the 3rd chapter. So, buckle up, put on your seatbelt, and stay in prayer. Stay prayed up, keep reading, and, try to keep the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your ability. All right. In these last and final hours, man, you just got to hold on a little bit longer. We're almost out of here. Call halal Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai Bahasham Rakahak Badash Kwam Yasharala Abad Babal.